laugh it off.
Laugh it off. As y'all see, we jumped in with the guest
Boom.
saying laugh it off. We're always having fun, and it's always just a blessing to be able to connect with individuals in the community. You guys, it's another amazing episode of Talkers vs. Doors, you guys. And as you guys already heard, our guest talking, he got some amazing things that he's going to talk about and enlighten us about the community. So we're so excited. As always, I'm your girl, Coach Perry, aka Mixed Psychology, and
I'm your boy, Coach Mike James, in the house. We excited. We got another awesome guest for y'all. So we're excited to get this thing rolling. Yes.
Yeah. So none other, Mr. Jackson. How are you today? We're going to come in and just allow you to first introduce yourself. Because I think it's better when a person is able to come out and just smile and tell about who they are. We'll go in. So kind of tell the people a little bit about who you are and definitely first where you from in your area and aspect.
All right. Well, I'm so happy to be here. First of all, I feel honored to be a part of Talkers and Doers. That's what I'm talking about. Name is Rick Jackson. I am currently, I head the public relations and communications operations at Birmingham Water Works, PR manager and spokesperson for the company. Prior to that, here in Birmingham, I was a news reporter and anchor morning show at CBS 42. I enjoyed doing that for about 5.5, 6 years. Prior to that, I moved to Birmingham. I was a reporter, a news reporter on air with NBC and Fox in Tupelo, Mississippi. And so I am a native of Montgomery. So Alabama is definitely home for me. I've been in Birmingham a while since then. And so Birmingham is pretty much home for me now. I did not know that the Magic City would be my I would say my last stop, I would say. But I'm so happy to be here, man. The people in Birmingham are amazing. It's just like a big family reunion. You know, the Magic City Classic drew me into the city, y'all. Y'all know how it is. It's a big barbecue. Everybody know everybody. You get the cousins you ain't seen, ain't never met.
Right.
And so y'all just suck me in, man. I love it's exactly what it says. It's the Magic City. And so that's what I do as my 9 to 5. But, you know, we can peel off some other layers. I'm an open book.
Amazing. Thank you. He's Magic City. That's what Magic
it is.
So from Montgomery, though, that is good to know. Definitely from that aspect.
Uptown, yeah, absolutely. So, you know, actually, I grew up in rural Montgomery County. I finished high school in the city. So I'm a country boy, man. Our town, Sellers, Alabama. Shout out to Sellers. Very small town. He only had a gas station. You know what I'm saying? The next 30 minutes was into we would go to the grocery stores or whatever. So I'm country boy, walked around barefoot, came to the big city and had big dreams, you know, and it's just all it took was someone that's just nod their head at this country boy and say, yes, I'm gonna give you the opportunity. And so I really think that's what it's all about. I'm a parent myself. I'm raising a son, Ethan, and I try to instill that in him every time. It's like, you know, we're brown boys. And but the thing about it is we're brown boys with a lot of potential and a lot to offer. And all it takes, you know, for someone to just give you that opportunity. Yeah. And I appreciate platforms like this so we can spread the word about networking. You know what I'm saying? We have to take care of us. You know, it's just a different climate. And it, you know, the more we can uplift each other, I think the better off we'll be. I know y'all agree with that, right?
Man, I love that. Yes, sir. Man, and bro, you know, it's coming from one country boy to the next because, you know, I grew up in Phoenix City. I grew up in Phoenix City, so not too far from Montgomery. Yeah. So that Central East Alabama connection. But yeah, man, you know, it's funny because you said networking right there, and you know, we started. I was like, even when I saw your name, it's like, this is awesome, and you know, I started. It's like, Rick, I hope you remember. We go way back, and it's from networking. You know, connections that you make through you know, Greek life and just connections back in your news days, man. And so it was just awesome to see that and how important that is. And I love moments like this where it comes full circle, you know, connections. You circle back around and it's like, look at us now, you know. So absolutely. I love that, man. Yeah, definitely.
That is the biggest part. I love that, you know, hearing you guys first, all the bro love for the ladies that's all got the bro love. It's always good. But to hear that when people say that full circle, kind of just going in and telling people a little bit about your adversity, because people already think, okay, he's on the news, he's been on the news and everything. But as Mike said, it was a full circle. There are things that you had to overcome and go through to get where you at now, to kind of, speak a little bit about that aspect.
Absolutely. Again, growing up in rural Alabama, I just had big dreams. I always was the one that stood out. And sometimes that wasn't a really pleasant position to be in. You're the weird one. You're the one. Why you sitting there with a pen and a paper while we out here shooting hoops, or, things like that. But I just had big dreams for myself. And even for me to go to Auburn University from my family, it was like, oh, a big deal. I may as well have been moving to New York City, right? But it taught me how to be on my own. And, I've always been the one sort of kind of in the minority. I remember when approaching my senior year of college, I got this internship right here in Birmingham at ABC 3340. And I worked 40 hours a week, not getting paid. That's I was just dedicated to that thing. And I was really determined to make sure that I had some type of job on air when I left. And God has blessed me. I can sit here and talk about everything I've gone through, but everything I've gone through and everything I am right now is because God has always been the head, And so from that, I landed an on-air spot in Tupelo. I was the youngest, still to this day, the youngest reporter, black, white, male, female they ever had on air. I started reporting at 21 years old. I received my degree within 3 years. I just was working hard and always on my grind. It wasn't easy. Always being a loner, but just like Mike said, man, coming back full circle, it's all about just grabbing those opportunities. I always have to say, television business is tough. I mean, maybe y'all heard it, but it is really, really tough. And when I came to Birmingham, I accepted the job like, hey, just give me the chance. I'll shoot my own content. I'll edit my own content. I'll write my own content, and I'll dress up and report the news, And so that's what I was doing. The news director took a chance on me, and people will see me out. They'll have their whole staff of photographers and videographers with them, and here I am, at a press conference with the camera, setting up the camera and standing up, press record, and get back in front of it, and just doing my thing. And so, it's about that grind. But I have to credit my time in television to a lot of where I am today. I've had some amazing opportunities with television and the connections. I had the opportunity to witness our first Black president, Barack Obama, be sworn into office, and to take that experience with the foot soldiers of Birmingham, those people who were there with racial inequality. As y'all from Birmingham, and they dealt with the dogs and Bull Connor and the fires and just the marching, just to witness that moment with them. Things that just the normal person probably wouldn't get to see and feel. I've witnessed that, but what's been most rewarding to me, besides the fact and the opportunity for people to allow me into their homes every evening or every morning to tell the story, was just to be a part of the community and to meet people and to help people. And the gratification I got, it wasn't that little paycheck they were paying me. I'm just going to say it now, but the gratification was me being able to hear from someone else that I inspired them or I helped them, that little Black boy who didn't have a dad or an uncle or any male figure. Yes. Hey, you helped me. I looked up to you. And for somebody to say they looked up to me, I mean, I don't take that lightly at all. I don't. Yeah. I'm just the regular Joe Blow like everybody else still to today, man. I'm just like everyone else. So when someone says that I've been a part of their journey, I take that to heart. I do. And I still to this day, I'm the youngest of my peers at my job and doing what I'm doing. But, it's all about connecting and helping the next man. And my whole thing is you go into a situation and you want to make it better than it was prior to you got to that situation. And you want to make it better for those who have to come after you to get in that situation. Yeah. So I think that should be all of our goals.
Definitely. Wow. I know Mike got a lot to say because we both looking like, wow.
Yeah.
But one thing I just want to point at you guys before Mike, go in is the point that you guys probably did not hear when he started in the beginning was that he actually served. He said he did things for free. He was a server first. And that's a big thing that we sometimes forget, especially when we're trying to move to that next level. And because we talk a lot with entrepreneurs and things, you have to serve first.
Absolutely.
Everything is just not giving, but because he served and he gave his time, it opened up doors that he wanted to go into. So don't forget about that. People, I don't want to volunteer. I just don't want to jump into it. I just want to do this. No, you got to be a servant as well. So I
Absolutely.
just want to point that out because that was one of the biggest things that I heard. And he said, hey, for hours. I'm like, wow. But I know being the background that we are, me and Mike, we do a lot too as servants. But just knowing that he did that before he got to that area. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Mike.
I mean, no, that was that. Erica, you was right on because like I was like, I know we're gonna get into Rick what you're doing now, but when you said that, it made me think about, like I say, even our connection, and it made me think about that part of serving and doing all the stuff because a lot of times people are in the journey and it's so much, right? You're doing so much. It's like, man, am I gonna get there? The timing and all of that. And so what I wanted to say too, because you talked about like what you get from it, like what was gratifying from just people being able to say, man, I look up to you or appreciate when we welcome you to our home morning or night. So what I was going to say too is on that journey, because of course with Talkers versus Doers, we focus on entrepreneurship, but just people in general that are doing things right in that growth. So the ups and downs. So what I wanted to ask you, Rick, was as you think about those news days, right, when you were on your grind and it was like, man, look, definitely the money that's got me getting up and doing this all the time, all these hours. So I was going to say, what if you think back to it, like all those experiences from Birmingham to going back to Tupelo, all of this experience, what is that thing that kind of stuck with you the most in terms of, I know Erica asked you about like the adversity in that journey. So what is that thing that it taught you the most as you think of it like today, what you take from it?
You know what? It kind of touched when you said that. I wanted to be an example. I wanted to be proof. When we're kids and we're growing up in the classrooms, if you had a good teacher, I'd say they'd say you can be anything you want to be. You can do anything you want to do in life. But I wanted to make proof of that. I wanted to show people. I didn't never know I was going to have kids, and I do have a son. I'm very blessed and grateful for that. But not just my son, but my little cousins or people I've interacted with. I really want to show people it doesn't matter how you start, it's how you finish. And everyone does have a certain level of opportunity, right? We're not all blessed equally financially or socially, or we can't choose where we're from or who our parents were or the duration they were. But the thing I want to get from my journey is to put down proof and show people, you really can do it. Regardless of your background, regardless of people saying no to you, regardless of what they say about you. All right. The no's that you have to face before you get that first yes, you can do it. And that, I think, out of everything I've gone through, Mike, that part of it, me proving that you can do it, that's what's been most important to me.
Man, that's awesome.
And I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. I'm young, man. I got gray hairs, but I'm still young.
Yeah, you
Hey,
young.
that's right.
That's the beginning, No, and I love that. Like you say, you're not done because the thing is, I always tell people, even if you impact one person and they're able to do something, that is living proof of you within them. So you'll never be done when you're doing something positive. So thank you for that.
Come on. You better preach, Erica.
I'm telling you.
Talkers versus Doers, you guys. But no, and always, you guys, side note, anytime we're on Talkers versus Doers and Mike knowing I have black males on our minority men, I'm always loving on our kings just because we need that. We need more leadership. We need more mentorship. And I'd be so excited when I'm seeing amazing men do great things and being able to connect with them because, as you said in the beginning, we can't grow alone.
No.
They say you can try to go fast. Yeah, you can get fast, but you go farther when you go with a networking in a group. Man. And it's always a blessing.
Absolutely.
And getting into that, can you just tell us, though, one of your biggest aha moments in your career that you're just so excited for or so glad that you was able to do that? I kind of think which one, but for you to just say it.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow, man. Ugh. The one that sticks out, and I've said this before, I've said this on air, not to take too much time, so I'm just going to say one that sticks out right now. One time I was covering a story by myself, meaning I was my own cameraman and the reporter. I drove up to Coleman. They had just opened up this new aquatic center. And so I was up there in Coleman, and it was a beautiful facility. And I was doing what we call our stand-up. Mike knows, the stand-up is when the reporter is talking to the audience. So I'm shooting my stand up, and I had this brilliant idea. I was like, okay, I brought me some swimming trunks. I'm gonna say something, and then I'm gonna jump in the pool, right? So I set the camera up. I go and do my stand up. Timed it perfectly. Jumped up because I only had one take because I can't go back and do it over because I'm gonna be soaking wet, right? So I had it perfect. Did that. Hopped in the pool. I knew I couldn't swim. So I put it perfectly so I could just jump right into like the 5 foot, just enough to cover my head. No, it was a ramp, and I went down into like 12 feet of water. And I came up once, like, help me, help me, help me. But no one helped. Like, people were laughing. They thought I was like making a joke or something. Like, oh, he's pretending for the camera. Ha, ha, ha. No, I seriously, I was drowning. Wow. And finally, someone came to my rescue and pulled me out of it, and they realized what was going on. Anyway, it was the scariest moment of my life at that point in my life. Wow. And what I did from that was I took that experience and made it into something that I could help people with, because there is a large standing stigma that Black people can't swim. And so what I did, I got with a swim instructor here. I told my story to everybody as an adult, you know, and people are embarrassed of that, I see. And I said, I got on air and I was like, hey, I'm 20 some years old. I don't know how to swim, because I just didn't grow up in an environment where we had YMCA's or, you know, people to teach us how to swim. I didn't know. My parents don't know how to swim. I doubt if my grandparents knew how to swim. And so I let them document me learning how to swim. And I went through this several weeks of process of learning, and I learned how to swim. And I hope that inspires someone else to get out there and break that stigma. So out of my career, I would say maybe one of the most rewarding things, or aha moments, like, wow, because it was near death to me. And I would say me coming out with the fact that I did not know how to swim as an adult, and revealing the statistics of African Americans who don't know how to swim. There are adults, and then showing people that you can learn at any age.
Man, that's amazing. Like, yeah. Listen, because I told Erica don't be preaching early. But, that's literally the physical manifestation of turning a test into a testimony, or a trial into a triumph. Because to do that and to document that, you'll forever have, because when you shared that, like, my mind starts going, when you said Coleman and different stuff, my mind already going like, oh, right. Where this gonna go?
Right.
But sharing something like that, I think that's amazing, and I love it. And I'm glad that people will be able to hear that too. Maybe even more people in our audience will be able to hear that story, to know that when something happens, we all have a responsibility. We have the ability to respond to what happens to us. So it's like, what are you going to do from the setback? And even what the reason why we're here, right? And the reason why we do these interviews and with Talkers versus Doers is like, okay, things happen on this entrepreneurship journey, this business journey, whatever you're doing. When you're doing something in life, things happen, right? But what are you going to do about it? How are you going to respond, and then make that something that, hey, now not only did I make the best of this situation, but I can help someone else. I can teach someone else with this in the future. So, man, I'm so glad you shared that, bro. That's amazing. That's awesome.
Like you said, don't preach, but you just started preaching.
I know, man.
Hey, it hit me. It hit me. It struck a chord when you shared that, bro.
And I think that be both of us. That's what we just so love about Talkers versus Doers, and just love and admire, you know, the connection that me and Mike have, because everything we look at in that aspect, yes, we are certified life coaches, but we look at everything in a different realm of taking what many people take for granted, and we say, you know, this happened. Because a lot of us have jumped over the cliff in something that we love to do, but because we jumped over that cliff, we didn't get back up. But you got back up.
Right.
You know, people look at, I jumped over the cliff and that didn't work. Nobody saved me. Nobody helped me. Nobody gave me money. Nobody supported me. Mm-hmm. But you got up and you kept walking yourself.
Absolutely.
I love it. Ooh, we're gonna so as we continue to
fire, come on.
Yes, I said we're gonna have to learn how to get some fire emojis or something. And going into that, of all the amazing things you've already done, you know, we're not going to sit here and not talk about the amazing things you got going now. So just telling the people about the amazing things you got going now and coming up, that I'm so excited for the information that we was able to see and read upon, and just letting the city know about that.
Great. Well, I can't go without saying, with my current position with Birmingham Water Works, again, I had all of the PR, and that includes all the media stuff and community engagement. So the last, I don't know, maybe 8, 9, 14 months of my life has been focused on what a lot of people have been, and that's the World Games. So I am leading this charge with our involvement with the World Games. And what we're going to be doing is setting up misting stations. And that's where you have like the cooling water misting to cool you off during the summertime. We're going to set those up at various game sites. Along with some promotional giveaways. And so we got all of that on our website, BWWB.org. I really want, if you're out at the World Games, please come out and be a part of that. One thing I have to say that I'm really happy about, and I always plug it, is this initiative I started with Birmingham Water Works back in 2015, Hydrate the City. It's called Hydrate the City. And Hydrate the City is basically a summer program where we go out into the community, different spots, parks, what have you, where we have high foot traffic, and we set up hydration stations. But the unique thing about it is that we have fruit infusions. And so we want to promote people drinking water straight from the tap, because honestly and truthfully, I know I'm the PR person for Birmingham Water Works, and I sound like a commercial, but we are very blessed, honestly, to have some of the best water in the nation right here in our area. And anybody else who's lived anywhere else, you could tell the difference. Like, you literally can taste the water out of the tap, and it is top notch. But we want to promote drinking water from the tap with fruit infusions, and that's the different recipes that can cut up different fruits like strawberry, lemon, raspberry, cucumber, mint, orange, blueberry. We got all types of recipes, and we teach people. It's something that the young, the old, and in between can enjoy. And so that's something that has just been growing bigger and bigger every year. Toward the end of summer, I also started this initiative with the Waterworks. Waterworks Water Boy is this program that we have, and that's when we visit our student athletes and talk to them about hydration on and off the field or on and off the court, because the signs of dehydration is real, and heat related illnesses with our children is real. We lose kids every year from them overexerting. We're here in Alabama, the football mecca of the South, and all of our kids want to go hard, but we want to make sure that they're healthy and make sure they're taking care of themselves, even if, and I'm not putting nobody out there, even if their higher ups are not looking out for them in that regard. And so we want to hold all of these teams accountable, the coaches accountable, the staffs accountable, to making sure our kids are properly hydrated. So those are two of the things work related. Currently also, just my personal life, I know you guys talk about entrepreneurship, and y'all probably get to that in a minute. I think that's very important. Outside of the waterworks, I'm a realtor. And so I got my real estate license several years ago. I'm blessed to be in a position it's something that I do as a hobby for now, I would say. But I do not when I say hobby, I don't want to take it like last. It's something I'm playing with. When I say hobby, I'm speaking just in terms being real with you. It's not my paycheck to feed my kid or keep a roof over my head, but I love it and I take it very seriously. And I think entrepreneurship, I don't care what type of 9 to 5 you have, you can be the person who runs this state or whomever, whatever corporation. I don't care how much they're paying you. Make sure you get you a second line of income, third, fourth, fifth, however many you can get. I mean, it's so important to make sure we are looking out after ourselves, because at the end of the day, the way that this world is set up, we never know how the economy is going to turn. And that's something that we really, really got to promote, making sure that you have some type of supplementary income to help out with that. And so I don't know if I've really found that perfect niche just yet. But I'm out here grinding. I'm trying to find out. I'm looking for ideas.
And tell them again, you are the PR of what?
I'm the public relations manager for Birmingham Water Works.
Okay. We just wanted to get that. Now we're going to run this commercial back. Did you guys just hear what he said? It's still needed to have a secondary income. He's doing that, and he's still doing other things. And shout out to a relative, because I'm a real estate agent too.
Okay.
So understanding, it is needed to have that. You want to have multiple sources of income. If the pandemic ain't taught you nothing else, it taught you to be prepared. Prepare yourself. Like I said, you can work a 9 to 5. And also, I run with it, because being a business and mindset coach too, which is dear to me, and talking with my clients, I'm always telling my clients, we hear entrepreneurs, you got to do it full time. No, entrepreneur is just getting yourself in preparation for what may come. and
Mm-hmm.
helping you build that legacy. Like
Yeah.
you said, you want to make sure so you don't have to think, oh, I can't work, and do that. No, you can. You're building your legacy. So yeah, you have that 9 to 5, but after that 9 to 5, what are you doing for yourself? Because at any time that job, and I'm a witness of it too, at any time that job can come to you and tell you it's time to go. So
That's
you
right.
gotta build that. This
Mm-hmm.
this this man, he has things set up already. He's been doing something amazing that he's been doing for years, but he still said, I'm working in other areas and I'm finding my niche. So we ask you today to find that niche, find something else. It's needed, it's important, and most importantly, you deserve to have something else. You should not have to depend on paycheck to paycheck when there's so much out here you can do. Everybody got some talent in them that you guys can pour out. Find that niche, connect with someone, get around the right environments and people that want to see you grow instead of stay in a certain area stigma of where you should be at.
Erica, that's so.
You
I
better,
mean, you
better
you
check
hit
your
right
web.
on the head, right on the head. You talk about that, and yeah, with real estate, you may say, oh, well, the real estate market is very saturated. I ain't gonna be honest. I'm sorry, Kim and Renee. Those are my brokers with my my current brokers. I ain't been the best agent lately. I've been busy, but there is something. Everybody has something to offer. Everybody. It's just finding the niche. And you know what? And to Mike, what I've always said, and what was told to me when I was a kid is that you can have all these ideas in the world, but it's only a dream unless you write it down. Because when you write it down, it makes yourself accountable.
Come
Those
on.
goals, like you made it into a goal, it's no longer something in your head. Now, I'm not telling you to share your ideas, your entrepreneur ideas with everybody, but write it down and make yourself accountable for what you've written down. Otherwise, it's merely a dream.
That's it. It's just a thought, man. I share that all the time with people. Rick, that you said that, and Erica, she knows this, both of us being coaches. Listen, your subconscious doesn't know what's real or fake until you make it. So you can speak it. That's one thing, but write that thing down, because now you got a document, and you can look back a month from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, and say, okay, this is where I was. This is what I wrote down. And so I always encourage people, have a self session. I tell my clients, you have your session with me, but have a self session where you take a piece of paper, write down the who, what, when, where, why, how.
Yes.
What's going on? What are you doing? What do you want to see better? What could change? All that stuff, because now you get those thoughts. With everything going on in the world, as we all know, it's so much. And so we have a lot that's circling, and it's just circling. It's in the rat race of our mind until we take that thing out, put it down where we can see it, and affirm some things. So when you said that, I'm like, yes, that's it. And I know Erica even recently, as this week, shared a post like that as well. Like, write it down, write the vision, make it plain. What do you want? You better write it. You better write that.
Yes. Look at that. We've always had some great podcasts, but this one has definitely been in detail in here, and we're just so thankful. That's why we love doing it, because we're just talking real, you guys. And it's talking about stuff that we need to talk about in our community, and a lot of stuff that we are scared and afraid to talk about. A lot of people don't want to talk about finance and income. Had one of the ladies that I was talking to that do coaching when, and she said the scariest thing is 61% of people would rather talk about debt than finance.
Wow.
61%. And that is sad. Because a lot of us wasn't taught that. So we don't speak about it. But we here to say, you got to write it down and make it plain. You got to want it yourself. It's something you have to take in. And with that being said, we want to go to this now. We want to just talk about this, because I love that as it's going across your model that you have. My job is not to impress you, but to leave an impression on you.
That's right. That's something that I came up with. I think we were getting ready to graduate high school, and all of the seniors were responsible for a quote. And I think that's the quote I came up with. I just, and I've really tried to live my life in that light. We spend a lot of time, especially, in our culture, we spend a lot of time spending money and time and worrying about stuff that impresses people and fashions and the J's. And I'm not preaching to nobody, because I got a few pair of them myself, but I think that we get lost in the purpose and what we're really here for. And it's not all about that. You go to a funeral and it's all decked out. Everybody's all stressed out that week leading up into the funeral, not so much because you're so sad and mourning, not saying that you're not, but we want to make sure everything is right, the outfits are right. We got this picked out. We want to make sure everything's matching because we want to have this many family cards because it's a show. But I feel that at that point, when we're at that point, it's too late. It's the end. And I think that we all should appreciate ourselves. Go buy you some J's, okay? Go buy you whatever you want to do. Make sure you're looking good always. But don't let that be your main focus when you walk into any situation. It's not that, because whatever is for you, if you look good on the inside and you got the right purpose on the inside, you're going to be like a magnet, baby. It's going to come to you. Everything good for you is going to come to you. You don't have to do anything extra, but show up. And when you leave that space, if you've done everything you needed to do while you were in that space, it's going to be a void. And so that's where the impression comes in at. Don't go into a situation trying to impress anyone, but leave that space with an impression that they would know that you were once there. And so that's my motto.
Yes, everything greatness attract to me, baby. It attract to me. Go ahead, Mike.
No, that's right. Listen, I love that. I love it's simple and it's to the point, and that's what it's all about. And I truly believe that too. What you put out, it comes back. It comes back to you, and that mindset is everything. So, Rick, somebody's watching this and be like, "Okay, Mike, Erica, Rick, y'all got me fired up." So, okay, I hear what you're saying, but right now it's tough. And y'all admit it's a lot going on. Like for that person watching, that young person, that business person, maybe that person that's right now, they're doing stuff, but they're just they're so discouraged, right? They're that place where it's like, okay, I've been doing this for a while and I hear what y'all saying and all, but right now it ain't connecting. So what would you say to that person watching that is at that stuck point in their journey? And it's like, okay, this right here, this message, what you're going to give is the one thing, the very thing they need. What would you say to that person?
I would say not to let this message be something that you heard and something that you listen to constantly. Listen to it. And when I say, when you're done with this recording and you're listening to this, you hear it, listen to it. As in tomorrow, let it still play in your head. The next day, let it play in your head. I think that whatever situation you're in, you have to realize there are valleys and there are mountains. You go up, you go down, you go up and go down, but it's you and how you stay the course is what matters, and how you sustain. That's what everything. You can be the perfect business owner. You've been doing things well for an amount of years, but there will be times that roller coaster is going to be down in the valley. And it's going to go up and it's a thrill. It goes around, it's a thrill. But then it's times where, that time you're going up, you're waiting, anticipating, it takes time. The one thing I think that will help everyone, and especially our young Black folks, even some of our older ones, is financial literacy. That's something that wasn't taught to me. And today I'm still learning it. I think there are so many resources out there to help us as a community, to help our kids, to help us as parents, to help us as just community leaders, is getting some type of financial literacy. And what I mean by that is use those resources that are available to us to not only sustain and to make it to the next check, and maybe all your bills are paid and that's fine. But no, push yourself above that. Think about what happens next in the future and securing it to the point to where you can get to, hey, I don't have to work. If I don't work right now, I can take a break from working to really fulfill the time I need to do what I really want to do. And a lot of that we try to do on our own, but there are experts out here, just like the two of you, who are life coaches who can help people in certain regards. There are also financial experts out there that can help you and your family. That's the biggest legacy I feel that you can leave, is knowledge and a solid foundation. It's not more so, the material things you leave behind, but that knowledge that you can leave for generations to come and to touch many people. And I think that in our culture, we are lacking a lot of that. Like I said, I'm be the one to tell you, I'm learning now because it wasn't taught to me, because my parents probably didn't know, or their parents probably didn't know. but it's something that is so needed, especially with our youth, because the way the world is going, you know, especially, I mean, I'm gonna speak, I love our black girls and our black boys, and our black boys, you know, the climate is just so dangerous. You know, it's really dangerous, and sometimes we put ourselves in situations just because we don't know. And I think it's our responsibility as we right here having this conversation to keep this conversation like this going, because I'm going to tell you, I'm going to network the heck out of this. You know, I'm going to share it on my page, and you may say, well, man, I really wish we can get our viewership up, right? Or what have you, or it's low this week. Oh, we ain't have a 2 people. Look, keep doing what you're doing, because
exactly,
this is going to touch somebody, and something you do in the future is going to touch somebody. And it's all about just pulling that in. And once you get that thing going, man, when you don't feel like no one's seeing it, or you're not really reaching anyone, trust me, somebody's always watching you. So you keep putting your best foot forward at whatever you love to do, and it's always going to succeed. That's my belief.
I love it.
Love it.
Me and Mike both be doing it at the same time, so sometimes we got to brace ourselves.
yeah.
Man, no, definitely love that. Thank you so much. Most important, as he said, you guys keep going and keep moving. Somebody's going to see it. And I definitely receive that. That's one of the biggest things, as Mike been, you know, my big brother, mentor, you know, grew up. That was one of the biggest things with us, and especially with me with Talkers vs. Doers, thinking about something that we wanted to make that platform. You know, like you say, we have those views, we have those up and downs, but the main focus is we want to impact at least one person. If we know we can impact that one person, they impact another. So yes, share, please, and put it out there, because definitely with me, just starting off in this field, in this area, it is a lot. Like you said earlier, it's a lot. And maintaining and thankful for the mentorship of my Lord, because I don't know where I'd be, but he pushed me to understand. Keep going.
Yes.
So it is, but most important, like you said, it's going to help somebody. It's going to help with you. And that's a big thing about Youth Talk United. We definitely got to put that in there. You guys probably could a little bit to see my shirt of it. Great nonprofit, being the founder of it. Mike is actually the VP on the board of it. An event we have also coming up August the 20th. I don't know the time. I'm gonna let Mike go in on it, because I may not say all the details.
So August 20th. And pretty much what we're doing is our first time we're doing a Pastors and Greeks basketball tournament, and so we're excited about that. We're always, as Erica mentioned, one of the things, we go back from just working in a lot of professional environments. And Rick, as you talked about that networking is the very reason we're here right now, right? And this full circle moment from Eric and I go all the way back, and to UAB alum, go Blazers, and to Rick, you and I going all the way back from a connection from UAB, from the back to your news days, man. And so you talked about the youth, and that's the whole thing and what we want to do. Even this right here, we want our youth to see our interviews and Talkers versus Doers and be inspired. So our August 20th it's going to be from 10 to 1. So Pastors and Greeks basketball tournament. So listen, all y'all who got them pastors out there that still think they got it, still think they can cross somebody over, get them in touch with us. Youth Talk United, our page on you go to our page on Facebook, learn more information. We got flyers circulating. Greeks, all you Greeks out there who, you know, you still think you got a little bit in there. Come on, you know, we're all 3 of us representing Greek organizations. So listen, this is the time. To all you Deltas out there, to all you Sigmas out there, to all you Iotas out there in the city, we calling y'all out, because we we calling y'all out. Sign up, and of course, all the proceeds go to all the amazing things that we're doing for the youth here in the city. We want to do more, and so we always need that help, and so just wanted to put that out there. So thank you, Erica, for giving us that moment to shine.
Most definitely, Mr. Jackson, we're going to have your flyer going too. That was something, you guys, you know, we have that. It's going to be posted and on our stories, because we want to make sure we're spreading and networking and helping everybody in their aspect. But definitely, you guys, like you said, the flyers is already spreading. You're going to see more on Talkers vs. Doers. We want as many people to come out there to cheer on and have fun on it. So any way that you can be of support, even if it's just donating, you know, some sort, we definitely want you guys to be a blessing of that, because once again, it's Talkers vs. Doers, you guys, and it's all about giving back and being a blessing to someone else. Absolutely. On that aspect. So once again, Mr. Rick, we just thank you. We thank you for your blessing of just being here and just pouring into us, and taking your time out. No, you could have been doing anything or been anywhere else, but you blessed us. So thank you for that.
Well, I really appreciate the opportunity, man. This conversation came so easily. Y'all are good people, man. Y'all got it. Sometimes I'm gonna feel left out. I'm gonna feel
no doubt. Yeah,
we're
gonna keep this going.
We got a lot of stuff in the work, so we glad of that connection because we need some little direction with them. Right.
Yeah. And look, like I told you, bro, when I saw the email, I was Rick Jackson. Man, wait a minute. I said, so okay, hold on. Now might be some other Rick Jacksons out there, because I got one of those common last names too, like Mike James. Okay, it might be another.
Right.
So I read the email. When I saw I was like, man, come on. This is a family reunion. So we're definitely gonna be reaching out and keeping in touch and doing some things.
Yes, always. We definitely will, you guys. But y'all know what it is. Unfortunately, it's time for us to get up out of here so you guys can re-listen to it. But as always, don't just talk about it. Go out there and do it, you guys. Have a good one.
Do it. Peace.